Good afternoon. The time is 5:01 on February 24th, 2025. Call to order the meeting of the Norwalk Board of Police Commissioners. We have a quorum with Commissioner Collier Clemens, Commissioner Palladino, Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner Sumter, and Mayor Rilling. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of January 27th. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Go ahead.
I move approval of the minutes.
Okay, are there any questions? Any deletions, corrections?
Yes, I have some corrections.
Okay, Commissioner?
On page 3, paragraph 3, the first line, says Chief Walsh said the should be there.
Okay.
And in the third paragraph, third paragraph of that section on line number 3, after in 2024 and had received over we should delete and out of there.
Okay.
And in paragraph 4, line number 6, near the end, it says, reflects the confidence that they residents remove they.
Which line is that? I'm sorry.
That's line 6. No, it's line 7, I'm sorry. That they residents, that they should be removed.
Okay.
And then on page 6, I'm sorry, page 5. Page 5, paragraph 3, that begins with Deputy Chief Lepore. There's an open parentheses for 41 were for pistol permits, but there's no closed parentheses anywhere, so I don't know what that refers to.
I think after the word permits, probably.
That's what I'm thinking. So add a closed parentheses after permits. And those are my corrections.
Any further corrections, deletions, or omissions? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes as corrected?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, we have public comment. Ms. Bird.
If somebody would like to speak, can you please unmute your phone using *9? It doesn't appear so, Mayor.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the recognition of the Officer of the Month, Officer Darrow and Officer Arventakis.
Thank you, Mayor.
Arventakis.
Chief Walsh, I want to inform everyone that Officer Caden Darrow and Officer Costa Arventakis have been selected as the Officers of the Month for January 2025. They were chosen for their apprehension of 3 individuals that had stolen a motor vehicle. On the 21st of January, during the day shift, Norwalk Combined Dispatch received a flock license plate reader notification of a stolen car on Main Avenue. Officer Darrow located the vehicle in the McDonald's parking lot on Main Avenue and noted that 3 males had just exited the car. Officer Arventakis responded and arrived on the scene moments later, and both he and Officer Darrow quickly placed all 3 suspects into custody without incident. Through their efforts and the integration of recently deployed technology, both officers responded quickly, located the stolen car, and placed the suspects into custody without incident. So on behalf of Chief Walsh, they were selected as the January Officers of the Month for their great work.
Fantastic. Another good job by Norwalk Police, which we've become accustomed to. We congratulate the 2 officers. I know that when you see a car, they normally take off if they see the police. It looks like they were able to contain the scene pretty much and stop that from happening. Any further comments or questions from the commission?
Congratulations to both officers for a job well done. Great work. Thank you.
I'd like to thank both officers and also the addition of our technology, that flock license plate reader, and that they were instructed in how to use it appropriately and were able to make this arrest. Thank you.
Thank you.
I also want to congratulate both officers. Great job done.
I too would like to just commend the officers for not only a great job, but for the way they were able to handle this situation so it did not get out of hand. You know, I thought it was really quite tactful the way they were able to wait, get them out of the car, and then was able to apprehend them. A job well done for both Officer Darrow and Arventicus.
Very nice. It's a good
Great
thing.
job, man.
Good thing they got a little hungry. Brings back memories. Many years ago, I also apprehended a stolen car at McDonald's on Main Avenue. So that was a long time ago. Anyway, congratulations. Next, we have the Chief's Executive Report.
Yes, Mayor and Commissioners. Sworn personnel updates. We have 182 sworn personnel. We have one sworn position open. One officer remains on admin leave pending an IA investigation. There's 4 officers on extended workman's compensation leave. Sick days used were 130 3/4. Workman's comp days used were 177 3/4. Officer Jerome completed her field training and is now assigned to the patrol division. Officers Mozo and Ben are still in the process of field training. Officer Keyshawn McDowell was sworn in and began the Milford Post Academy. We currently have 19 telecommunicators and supervisors assigned to combined dispatch. There are 2 open positions. Human Relations has posted the job and testing is underway. 14 civilian employees assigned to support staff, and we are fully staffed there. Professional Standards is preparing for a CALIA directive review in March and an on-site inspection in November of this year. IT has completed an upgrade to our next-gen LEA's information and dispatch computer system. The training division began review credit training for the post-required certifications. Promotional testing for the rank of sergeant and lieutenant was completed on February 11th. One open sergeant position was open due to the retirement of Sergeant Tom Fern. Finance and budgeting, all budgets are monitored by Mr. Dosimo of Administrative Services. There's the attached information to this report that shows all the budget statuses as of January 2025. And everything is tracked in green for the last 7 months of the fiscal year in the attachments.
Yeah. Very busy time. Any questions from the commission? Seeing none. Thank you. Now we have the operations report. Deputy Chief Blake, you're up again.
Sir, for January, the Detective Bureau opened 28 cases. They arrested a suspect who had placed a camera in the bathroom at Sierra Grill. He was charged with voyeurism. And they arrested 3 suspects and charged them in a commercial burglary at the R&R Smoke Shop. Remember the R&R Smoke Shop. It's going to come up in a minute. You can see the stats for the month for the other various significant investigations and crimes that may have occurred in the city as well. Special Services opened 47 cases. They made 21 felony arrests, 4 misdemeanor arrests, 17 warrant arrests, and executed 9 search warrants. They did an investigation at the Soundview Grocery on Soundview Avenue, seizing gambling machines and untaxed cigarettes. The owner there had absolutely no permits for anything that was occurring at that particular shop. They also executed search warrants at the R&R Smoke Shop on Main Street, BP Snacks on Connecticut Avenue, Sono One Stop on Washington Street, and they seized marijuana in cash from all those locations and arrested the individuals that were selling it. Special Victims opened 32 cases in January. They had 3 felony arrests, 1 misdemeanor, and served 3 arrest warrants. They extradited a suspect from Georgia who was charged with 2 counts of risk of injury to a minor and sexual assault 4th. They made an arrest on a different suspect, charged him with 2 counts of sexual assault 2nd and risk of injury to a minor. And a third suspect was arrested and charged with 2 counts of risk of injury to a minor and harmful communication with a minor. Turning to the next page is the SE report. For the month of January, there was 1,317 stops completed as compared to 879 last January. So the uptick in proactive motor vehicle enforcement continues into 2025. So hopefully, again, we're having the impact on the community. That's certainly a necessity in lowering our motor vehicle accidents with injuries and lowering the complaints we receive from the community as we try to change driving behavior for the better. The part 2 of my report, again, if we're going in order that I have, talks about the Marine Unit. They are at the Walk Bridge daily. Boat traffic, as we can imagine, has declined due to the cold weather. However, they continue to patrol the islands and the waters on a regular basis. And they are currently in the midst of all their off-season boat and equipment maintenance, which takes up a tremendous amount of time, as one can imagine. We made 186 arrests in January, and the patrol division responded to 6,466 calls for service. The second platoon remaining as the busiest shift in the department. And the next 2 pages is the same information regarding the Executive Bureau, as well as the investigations 24 compared to 2025 month of January.
Very good. Getting busy. It's interesting that the midnight shift had more calls than the evening shift. That was very unusual.
Yes, that's for sure. I think there's a lot of proactivity on midnights right now, which leads to an uptick in the calls for service. I think that is probably what's making that difference. But yes, certainly an interesting phenomenon.
Okay, any questions from the commission or comments?
I have none.
I have none.
I have none. Thank you,
Yeah, that brings
Deputy
us
Chief.
to the community affairs. Don't see Deputy Chief Dinho.
Yeah, Mayor, he and Chief Walsh are both away.
Okay. Looks like we have it here. If there's any questions, the police commission can take a look at it. And
Mayor,
again,
I can
Yes?
go over it I was gonna
okay.
go for you.
Yep.
Yes.
Very good.
Mayor and
Thank you.
commissioners, good evening.
Good
It was a
evening.
beautiful day out today. Hope everybody enjoyed the nice warm day we had.
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
get used to
beautiful.
it. This is New England.
I know, I know. I'll take one day though.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so yes, on behalf of Deputy Chief Dinho, I'll go over to Community Affairs. For the Community Services Division, they had 956 calls for service for the month of January. They took care of 14 major events. You'll see them listed there. Funeral escorts, a lot of outreach and neighborhood association meetings. They did the Three Kings celebration, and they did a lot of partnerships with outreaches for the churches, the Cub Scouts, and the library. For the traffic unit, they had total motor vehicle stops was 488, 96 parking violations, and they did 10 car seat installations. The selective enforcement locations, there's 32 of them, and with these being the major ones that they hit based on the Yukon traffic data. For the behavior health unit, they opened 43 cases. They addressed 43 cases. They closed 35. They had 22 that were hospitalized, and then they partnered with the state's attorney for 4 cases. They had 18 referrals, and they worked with the families on 15 of these cases. For the training division, training was a little slow in the beginning of January, but they started their recertification that started the first week of February. So these statistics will go up. So they had 7 subject areas with 7 attendees, and that was basically people that had came back and were doing the transition over for our new firearms. But they hit the ground running with our recertification, so that's going to be busy for the month of February for their next monthly report.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Sure.
I noticed that the officers that attended the training courses, they have Norwalk Police Department beside the name, which we expect them to be Norwalk police officers. But do we also have officers from other departments in Connecticut attend our training courses?
Not necessarily. Once in a while, we offer a class, and if we're having an instructor come in from somewhere, and we only have a like minimum amount of people, we'll offer it out there, and to other departments if they want to come and they want to join in. But yeah, every once in a while we offer outside officers to come in and join the class, or sometimes we'll get a call from another department saying, "Hey, you know what? I got one guy, he's up for recertification and he needs a class. Are you running anything? Can I send him down there to sit in our classes?"
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
welcome.
Any further questions? At a cabinet meeting, I told Chief Walsh, I was sitting at the intersection of Sunset Hill Road and East Avenue, waiting to make a left-hand turn into Sunset Hill. And as I was approaching the light, it turned red, and a car went flying right through the light. And I'm like, look at that, right through the light. Just about that time, out of a driveway pulls a Norwalk police unit with lights and siren. He was on patrol waiting. He was doing selective enforcement right there.
Yeah,
It made me smile, so I was very happy.
All right.
That makes me happy too.
Yeah.
yes. Actually, that's been a very popular intersection with our traffic unit lately, because they've been pulling over a lot of cars right there on East Avenue, right in front of City Hall. I see them there every day, and you hear them on the radio every day there. So hopefully it's slowing people down there.
Well, it's in the middle of contract negotiations. I think Chief Walsh has his people out there so I can look out my window and make sure that they're doing their work. Okay, thank you, Deputy Chief Lepore. Next, we have the administrative report. Deputy Chief Lepore, you're up again.
Yes, sir. Okay, so for our grants and inspections, for our DUI grant that we had hires for the month of January, there was a total of 220 hours worked. The officers made 120 car stops, 121 car stops, issued 122 infraction tickets, conducted 18 field sobriety tests, which led to 13 DUI arrests.
Wow.
There was no other grant funding that was utilized during the month of January. There are two applications that are out there, one for Project Safe Neighborhood and then Distracted Driver, which will, they're open and being prepared for it. Distracted Driver will be for the month of April, but that'll be coming up. So you guys will see that soon. We've had no other grants that we've applied for right now, but we are continually monitoring them. There were no staff inspections scheduled or conducted during the month of January. And the property room that was done in December, we're working on our storage and space solutions, and they're currently being rectified.
Can you
For the crime
unpack
scene-
that one word? What do you mean by that? What's being done?
So what happens, we had, with all the vape shops and everything, everything, the stuff that we've been seizing, we were running out of space. So what we did, because there were certain requirements to have it locked up and separated from other evidence and anything that's in the property room. So what we did was we installed an extra caged area inside the property room so we could have the extra storage of it and we can properly secure everything. But because we had a big influx for it and we can't get rid of it, we can't destroy it until everybody goes to court. So we have to properly store it and maintain it. And that's one of the high value items. We drugs, guns, money, and jewelry.
Thank you again.
You're welcome. For the crime scene unit, we had 107 persons fingerprinted. 40 of them were for pistol permits. We had 22 cases requested for DVDs and or photos. 41 cases were processed for evidence. 104 cases, patrol cases were processed for photograph downloads of scenes. Backgrounds were conducted on 2 massage therapists, one for Carefoot Reflexology and one for Massage Envy. We had 9 solicitor permits issued for Power Home Remodeling Company in January. 1 pawnbroker / precious metal permit requested. And the CSI vehicle was not deployed during the month of January. For professional standards, as you know, the deputy chief didn't Blake said, the promotional written exam took place on February 1st. We had a total of 26 personnel take the sergeant's exam and 9 sergeants take the lieutenant's exam. Assessment centers took place February 10th and 11th, and then the chief's personnel order with the results to follow that came out in February. But as you guys know, we have the opening there for the retirement from Sergeant Fern. We assisted Corporation Counsel with 2 civil cases, and then performance evaluations were completed and submitted for the month of January on all employees at the police department. The IA Lieutenant Orr has begun working on our NPD, the annual report that is required by us. This is a comprehensive report which includes all the previous year's activities within the police department. And that will, once that is completed, that will be posted to our website for public viewing. For body and dashboard cameras, we had 1 body camera that was returned for a network connection issue, and a replacement was issued. We had 2 taser issues reported. They had laser malfunctions. They were both replaced by Axon. We had 55 requests for cases. We had 23 cases that were burned to disk or awaiting payment confirmation. And we had 32 electronic shares with the Stanford Courthouse. For accreditation, we're continually, obviously, collecting proofs, and we are getting ready for your remote review on March 7th to the 15th. And then this year we also, as the chief had said earlier, we'll get our 4th year review with our physical on-site. We'll have our 4th year review in September, and then our physical on-site audit will be either late October or the first week of November. And that is it for administrative.
Questions from the commission?
Chief Lepore, the 4th year review, does it take 4 years for CALEA to complete their accreditation, and there's a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and a 4th year of it, or how? I'm a little bit confused.
Okay, I can clarify that for you. So what happens, Commissioner, is we used to get audited every 4 years. They would come out and they would do an on-site. They would send 3 or 4 assessors out, and they would spend about 5 days at the PD, and they would go over all of our files. And again, we have 483 files, and some of them have multiple sections. And we have to show proof for the 4 years that they get those. So every file has 4 years of proof. So for efficiency purposes, they started doing 25% a year. So every year now they do 25%. So in our first 2 years, they did 25% of the files, and they can go in, they do it remotely now from the software that we use. It's called Power DMS. So they log in remotely, and they can go through and they audit 25% of our files. So there's 25 the first year, 25 the second year. The 3rd year, they'll do the 25%. But because this is our on-site year, we actually have 2 years that are due. So we're going to be doing, in March, will be our 3rd year. So that will be our up to 75% of our files. And then in September, they'll actually do this year. So we basically have 9 months to get all of 2025 done. And then they come in, they do our on-site for November or October or November. So that's when they'll come in and they'll actually, instead of reviewing files while they're here, they do a lot of interviews, and they'll walk around and they'll do a lot of visits, and they may call you. They join in meetings, they walk around and talk to not only officers, but civilians. They go to businesses, and we also line up some interviews with them, whoever they want to speak to and all that kind of stuff. So that's basically our agenda for this year. So by the time they get here, they'll have an assessor will have reviewed all of our files 100% before our on-site in November.
Thank you so much for that clarification, because I remember when they did it just once, and they did everything, and they stayed here for a period of time, and so I was
Yes.
a little bit confused, but thank you.
Yes. Welcome.
Any further questions?
And I also want to thank Deputy Chief for the thorough explanation. I got to learn something there. Appreciate it.
It just says, for your edification as well, I know that Deputy Chief Lepore and other times different police personnel mentioned about the grants that we receive. there's always been a question about the grants that the city of Norwalk receives periodically, and people questioning whether or not we get enough grants. And as you know, grants right now are very competitive. The money is drying up, especially now, and we try to get as many grants as we can. Over the past couple of years, I have a list in front of me of the grant money that is still available, by the way. $68,955,030 grant money to the city of Norwalk. Now, a lot of people say, well, how can we not use that to pay down our tax base? Grants are usually for a specific purpose. For instance, we received $2,500,000 for a roundabout at Cedar Street, West Cedar Street and Risters Avenue. We received a $7 million grant for Lower Wall Street area. So a grant is usually applied for something that we would like to do, but we don't really have the money to do. So we file a grant and we get it. Now we're able to do it. So I just want to commend all the officers, the police department, economic and community development, the health department, the PD, fire department, all the people that apply for grants and are very successful in getting them. I think we're very competitive. When you look at any community, we're probably as competitive as the most. So I just want to let you know that. Next, we have personnel matters, and that is the drop plan for Officer Steve Yeager.
Yes, Mayor and Commissioners, Officer Yeager's applied for the drop plan. He is eligible for that based upon his time of service. He began his career in April 4th of 1996. Mr. Dosimo has completed the paperwork, and that is what you have in your packets there. And it is up to speed. He's going to start May 1st, 2025, and he will complete his service on April 30th, 2030.
Okay, are there any questions from the commission?
I have no questions.
I have none, Mayor.
I have none, Mayor.
Just to thank Officer Yeager for his service. I need somebody to move this forward for a vote.
I'll move.
I
it
move.
forward, Mayor.
Who is that?
Okay.
Okay, Ron, go ahead.
Commissioner
Thank you.
Palladino moves it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Now we have next on the list, we need to move an item for discussion, a promotion to the rank of Sergeant, Officer Kevin Schoenthal.
So move.
Commissioner
Mayor.
Sumter moves. Who's going to handle that? This?
Mayor, Officer Schoenthal recently finished first on the sergeant's exam that we mentioned earlier in the meeting. We are putting him forward for the rank of sergeant to fill off Sergeant Fern's spot when Sergeant Fern retired. So it's an important spot to fill because we are still down a sergeant on the day shift. So he'll be a welcomed addition if approved by the commission.
Any questions or comments from the commission?
I have none.
I have none.
I
Mayor.
have none.
I just congratulate the officer for finishing first. I know it's a very competitive situation, and I know now. Do you still now go through an assessment center as well for the rank of sergeant, or is that just for lieutenant?
That's correct, detective, sergeant, and lieutenant.
So there's a two-part process. There's a written exam and an assessment center, and I guess seniority is counted a little bit too. So again,
Yes.
Congratulations. So all in favor of promoting, and this I believe will take effect on Thursday. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mayor. It'll take place on Thursday, and his swearing in will be at 5 p.m. this Wednesday here at police headquarters.
At
Okay, so-
5?
Oh.
I
thought it
got-
was 4.
I thought it was 4.
I have it as 5, but I will clarify that and make sure that everyone's made aware.
Okay, thank you.
And so today's the 24th.
The
So it
27th.
takes it forth the 27th. Okay, so motion to include the date of February 27th is when this takes effect.
I
All in-
move.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
Mhm.
Complimentary letters. I see one here for Detective Taylor and one for, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Detective Taylor's received one from the Seaport Association, thanking her for a great work on an investigation that she conducted where the Seaport Association was the complainant. They'd like to thank her for her support, professionalism demonstrated throughout the entire process. Appreciate your patience and the clear and effective way in which we communicated throughout the process. By definition of a true professional is someone who makes a complicated, difficult situation look easy. I know your cases are never easy, so thank you. That's on behalf of Jerry Tony, who's the executive director of the Seaport Association.
Very good. Congratulations to Detective Taylor.
Yes, congratulations.
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 Patience.
And
Congratulations, sir.
next one is written from the St. Joseph and St. Ladislaw.
Yes, to Chief Walsh, on behalf of the parish community of St. Joseph's and St. Ladislaw, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to you and the dedicated members of the Norwalk PD for your invaluable support during our recent religious procession in honor of the Virgin de Guadalupe and El Señor de Esquipulas. Your assistance,
Not bad.
your assistance ensured the safety and success of these sacred events as we journeyed from St. Ladislaw to St. Joseph's Church. These processions are deeply significant to our parishioners, serving as a powerful expression of faith and unity within our community. Your presence and professionalism provided a sense of security and order that allowed participants to focus on their prayers and celebrations. We are particularly grateful for the careful coordination, traffic management, and respectful engagement demonstrated by your officers throughout both events. Please know that your efforts did not go unnoticed and were greatly appreciated by all who participated. The collaboration between the NPD and our parish exemplifies the strength and solidarity of our community. We are truly blessed to have such a dedicated and supportive police force. Once again, thank you for your unwavering commitment to serving and protecting our community. May God bless you and the members of the NPD. With gratitude and blessings, Reverend Orozco.
Very nice.
We've received that.
Very nice.
Very nice.
And it just goes to show that police department does many, many things. They wear many hats, not just arresting and those kinds of things, but they have our police department particularly has a wonderful community outreach, and it shows. People are very, very happy with the police department, and I must say I am too.
And
So,
am I.
Yes.
Yes, agree.
Uh-huh.
Thank
And
you.
since being a part of this commission, I was also able to find out that there is a lot more going on in the Norwalk Police Department other than just arresting or apprehending people. Great department, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. Totally agree. Okay. So the next meeting is March 17th at 4:15 p.m. and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to
moved.
adjourn.
Okay. Commissioner Clemens beat you that time.
Yes, that's fine.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's
She didn't beat me
5:34
to that.
at 5:34 and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Okay.
Long, everyone.
Bye,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Good evening.